Welcome back to the Super Smash Bros. Wii U Top 5 series. Previously we looked at my top 5 loved and hated characters, stages and final smashes, so now we're delving into the weird and wonderful world of items. Just like with the Brawl Top 5 video, there are some rules and exceptions for what is legible for being in this list. Essentially, it's anything you can turn on and off in the item select screen. Because of this, things like Wario's motorbike, Pac-Man's bonus fruit, or anything else a character uses as an attack are not legible. Neither are stage hazards such as the giant swords on Pokemon Stadium. Also, just like before, of the items that are on the item switch list, Smash Balls are not legible. They weren't in the Brawl video, but I still had people saying that the Smash Ball should have been number 1, so I'll repeat that bit. Smash Balls are not legible. And again, neither are pokeballs or assist trophies, seeing as their usefulness varies depending on what comes out. I might do a top 5 loved and hated Pokemon video and assist trophies video, but I'll see how much people want them first. I'm also not including healing items. No particular reason, just cause. As usual, this is my opinion, yours will probably be different, yada yada yada, let's do this. Daybreak. The concept of collecting 3 pieces of a weapon started with the Dragoon in Brawl, and while it was an okay weapon, it was a bit too unreliable for my liking due to the aiming phase, but then they introduced the Daybreak into Smash 4 and it's great. You're still required to collect 3 pieces, but as it shoots a massive beam of doom, it's much more reliable than the Dragoon, as well as being easier to hit multiple foes as the area affected is much bigger. It can be a pain getting the 3 pieces together, which is what's stopping the item from being higher up on the list, but with its high damage, great knockback and awesome visuals, I still love using it. Fire Flower. This thing is just daft. It's all well and good spewing out fire to damage your opponents, and it can build up some decent percent if you manage to hit them with the full 7 seconds of flame, but I usually find my opponents escape pretty quickly, particularly as the range isn't that far, so the damage done tends to be fairly poor. If you can trap someone against a wall or something, it'll be better, but it still won't be especially amazing. If you could shoot fireballs, or it added fire damage to your regular attacks, or something like that, it might be more useful, but as it is, when one appears, it's best just to ignore it. Smart Bomb. It was in my top 5 loved items for Brawl, so I won't spend too long on this one, as I'll end up just repeating myself. Just like before, the final boom doesn't have the amount of knockback it seems like it should have, but with the large effect area and decent damage, it's still a decent item to throw at some poor unsuspecting foe. It sucks when one turns out to be a dud, but even then, you better watch out as they can still take you by surprise. Beehive. These tend to be more of an annoyance than anything else. It's great in theory, throwing the hive at an opponent so the swarm follows them around and attacks them, causing damage, but the damage they cause is minimal and they're really easy to avoid. The hive itself doesn't do much damage or have much knockback in the first instance to make up for it, so it's still a bunch of crap. To make things worse, if you accidentally destroy the hive while it's on the floor, those wasps come after you, so even ignoring it can end up working against you. Warp Star. After I made the Brawl list, I started to think I should have put the Warp Star on there somewhere, as it is something I head straight for as much as possible and is very satisfying when you land on your opponent, sending them careening off the stage. The blast area isn't that large, but as you're flying around you can slightly aim where the star lands, so if your opponent is trying to get away, you can go after them. Seeing as it's something people go straight for, the chances are they'll be fairly close when you get to it, so they should be within range when you come crashing down. It is possible to self-destruct, but this can be easily avoided, so it's well worth the risk. Banana Peel. Yet again we have the Banana Peel, and it's just as crappy in Smash 4 as it was in Brawl. Throw it, small amount of damage, little to no knockback, but then you can slip on it. Gee, how exciting. Just as I said last time, there isn't much else to say about it really, it's a banana peel. Apparently the item description on the 3DS version says it's a classic comedy staple that never gets old. Yeah, it does. Ray gun. I love this little gun. While the super scope has its uses, I much prefer the ray gun as I find it to be a bit more reliable at doing what I want it to do, push my enemies off the stage. Once they've got caught in the stream of lasers, it's rather difficult to get out, so they end up getting pushed closer and closer to the blast line, and there's not a lot they can do about it. The damage per shot is fairly small, but with 16 shots it's more than enough to rack up some decent percentage, if that is, they don't get bounced to their demise. Smoke ball. Here's another section I might as well have copy-pasted from the Brawl script if I hadn't dropped the external hard drive everything was saved on and lost the lot. Well, I didn't drop it, it slipped off the shelf, but I digress. The smoke ball is another one of those great in theory items where it releases colourful smoke to cloud your enemy's vision, but in practice it ends up doing sod all. If during online matches the smoke covered a large area for everyone except the person that threw it, so the thrower could see where their foes were but the others couldn't, then it might work well, but as it is, it sucks. Before whipping out the number one item, here are some honourable mentions. All Club. Originally I was thinking of having a joint first between the All Club and Beam Sword, but as I compared them, there was no comparison. The All Club rules. A fully charged swing does 30% damage with great knockback, and then it spits out the Tornado of Doom to annihilate anyone else that happens to be nearby. The Beam Sword may be a classic and it has its uses, but the All Club wins in pretty much every area. Range, damage, knockback, it even looks badass. It's such a cool addition to the battering weapons and I love using it. While some weapons I will head for first, like the Bob-omb, as that has a great one-time use if it hits its target, the All Club is a weapon I will always choose to have when it comes to needing something for longer-term effectiveness and fun. This will probably be another occasion where you can guess my number one choice, but first, here are some dishonourable mentions. Mr. Saturn. As I said, you probably saw this coming. Mr. Saturn was number one on my Brawl list for worst item, and he's still here with pretty much the same problems he had before. Poor damage and so little knockback it might as well be null. When I made the Brawl video, I didn't know he could be used to massively reduce shields, and in Smash 4 it is now an instant shield break, which is great in theory, but opportunities to put that to good use are so few and far between. Well, after years of playing Melee, Brawl and now Smash 4, I don't think I've ever broken someone's shield with a Mr. Saturn, so I don't give a flying pancake he can do it. Having that ability is completely redundant. As I said before, if he had decent knockback or damage, it would be fine, but as he is, he's pretty much useless. So there we have it, those were my loved and hated items. If you haven't seen the other top 5 videos, here's another link to my countdowns playlist. Don't forget to leave a comment on what you thought, as well as what your top 5 would be, and let me know if you have any requests for future top 5 lists, such as the pokeballs, assist trophies, or any other random aspects you'd like covered. Extra contact info is in the description, so get in touch, it would be great to hear from you. But until then, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, see you next time.